Hello and welcome to the second day of Hell Week. Right, so we're in the apiary tonight, in the big apiary. I've now got to sort out 8 hives that are to be suitable to go to the heather. Now, I've already been through the hives I'm taking at the weekend, and I've made sure they're absolutely busting full of bees. They've all got at least 9 frames of brood in. Some of them, when I looked in, they only have 6 or 7 frames, but I've been and raided other colonies and taken out some frames of sealed brood just to bolster them up. And in terms of how I put my frames in the hives, I will always order the frame so there's eggs on the outer edge, sealed brood in the middle. What that means is, as the eggs and larvae develop and get sealed, the sealed brood in the middle hatches, and the queen can then go and lay in the middle of the brood. You do it that way and you keep the queen laying as long as possible, because what you need on the heather is bees to bring the crop in. So I've done that. What we do need to do now is start clearing the existing supers off the hives, so that we can put clean hives on to go to the heather, so we don't get heather honey tainted with anything else. I will be leaving some of the supers on because I've only just put them on, and anything that is in them will get used up. But I always transport them with one super on, because especially this time of year when you've got big colonies, there's more bees in the colony than will fit in the brood box, so you need to give them some extra space. So I always put another super on top above a queen excluder, but I'm travelling. The other little job we have to do is, it's the pitch and show this weekend, and I need a frame for the show. So as we're looking through the supers and getting them cleared, we'll be looking for a suitable frame. I'll come back in a minute when I've got some gear together. So this is the first colony I'm taking. Excuse me, I'm all full of hay fever this evening, and the smoke is coming. This is the first colony I'm taking. I actually already sorted it all out at the weekend, so this one's actually all ready to go. It's got the full 9 frames of brood inside. It's got a super on. It's a super. They're probably going to fill it a little bit with whatever's around at the moment, but what it means is that when they get up onto the moors, they're not going to starve if the heather's not flowing at the time. It's got a little problem in that the bees are getting up through the porta bee escape, which is never good. So I'm just going to have a quick readjustment to stop them doing that. Okay. Where can we put? Give them a little smoke. We'll get rid of this, move this strap around a bit. If you see, I haven't quite got everything on straight. But looking in the top, they are really working at the moment. Give them a little smoke. Oh, and I've glued everything on. Yeah, they're gluing everything together, as they do. Yeah, we'll just have a quick look at why this porter's not sealing. Yeah, there's a bit of wax in there. Let's have a look at the actual porter itself. That shouldn't be stopping them getting out, so just make sure that's in properly. There. Well, I think that should stop them getting out. Last thing you want when you're with bees and you're travelling with them is the bees getting out. It does make driving fun. So yeah, they're ready to go. Give them a quick lift, see what Oh, they're a reasonable weight. They're not too light and they're not too heavy, so that'll be easy to get in the Land Rover, that one. That's the first one. Now this is the second one. Again, there's no super on this one yet, but that's the job we need to do this evening. So we'll have a quick look under the roof, and you can see it's absolutely busting with bees. Exactly what I need to see. So for this one, we're just going to put a super on it. Gradually ease it. Bit of smoke. Because last thing I want to do is crush any bees. If you give them a bit of smoke, it'll just make them go down. And you can see they're desperate for space because they're actually building on the the quilt. Just knock them off. I'll put a queen excluder on. Someone has to tell me which way does these wire queen excluders go, because I've seen them on both ways. Oh, well, I've got a leaf there. Get rid of that leaf. It's been there a while because I'm propolising it. And there we are. Now we'll give them a super. There's one super. This is an old super I haven't used since last year, so they'll give it a nice good clean. And there we go. I'll just take off all that wax. One of the nice things about a glass quilt is if the bees are getting short of space, they'll start building wax on it. If they start building wax on it, you know they need more room. So in this case, we've given them a super. Now, with quilts, when you're travelling, make sure the centrepiece goes in the same direction as the straps. That means that when you put the strap on, it compresses it that way. It doesn't, and the piece of wood stops anything flexing. If you do it that way, it can compress the glass and break it. Bit of a clean up. That'll be ready for strapping up tomorrow night. That's that one done. So this is the next one we're going to take. Now this one has got some supers on. If you look under the roof, under the carpet, it is again absolutely busting with bees. So these bees need space. So because it's got supers on, I want to get these cleared off because I don't want to adulterate the honey with the normal lowland honey. I want this all to be pure heather. So for this one, we're going to add a super on, then we'll have a clearer board, and then we'll have the other supers. And while I'm in the other supers, I'll have a look, see if I can find anything for the show. And these aren't very happy at the minute. I think it's quite hot and humid this evening. All the flying bees have come home because it is hot, and who wants to be flying in this weather? So they're a bit bouncy this evening, which is very unusual. So anyway, we'll find them a super and get it changed out. So while I'm getting a super from the Land Rover, I'll just get a bit of smoke. So this one has got an eek on it. I won't be taking the eek up because it gets in the way when you're travelling. I will leave that here and I'll probably put it on one of the hives we're not taking up. So we'll just take that off. The carpet will stay on because the carpet does stop the bees getting up through the bee escape and getting out, which is something you don't want when you're travelling, as I said. I've had many adventures with bees flying around the car while I'm travelling. And again, you can see with this quilt, these are just bees that have got up through the porter. But you can see with this glass quilt, they're building wax on it, so they need room at the moment. So let's get into this one. Got a lot of bees on the lid here. as you can see, it's absolutely gummed down solid, this. Whenever you crack a joint on a beehive, always smoke the joint. Because when you were last in it, if you crushed any bees, if you open it up again, in that bees in that joint, you'll release the alarm pheromone from that dead bee, which can make the bees a little bit tetchy. So you just want to mask it. You see, that is absolutely covered with wax. They're ready for a super. We've had the lime trees out last week, so that will be giving it quite a nice flow at the minute. I was saying that, I don't know where they get lime from around here, because I don't know where there is any trees. The other apiary is loaded with lime trees, but this one, I don't know where they are. There must be some in the village. There we are. Oh, that's heavy. That's ready to come off anyway. Hopefully there'll be a show frame in there. Yeah, same here, there could be a show frame. Pity this one's actually a manly box, so this will be a nightmare to get apart. But we'll have a look for a show frame in this one. That one's not quite full, but I'm going to take it off anyway. So what we want now, we want another super. So there we have an empty super. I'll just give them a bit of smoke, get them to go down. I don't need to go in the brew box, so I won't, so I'm not disturbing them. Now we've got clear board. So in terms of clear boards, I use rhombus bee escapes, these. There's no mechanical moving parts like there is with the porta bee escapes. And the bees, essentially, they go down the hole, and then they come out to the edges, and then they don't go back in. Or so it says in the book. But as always, bees aren't very good at reading books. So let's have a look. That one go on, there's no show frame in that one, because I can see it's still uncapped. Pull one of these out. Let's have a look. Yeah, I mean they're full. But they're just not capped yet, so leave them in there. We'll still take that one off tomorrow night. What I might do is give that one to one of the smaller colonies tomorrow when we come down, and then they can just finish it off over the next couple of weeks. You have to excuse me with the coughing and the sneezing. I'm actually just getting out of COVID. This one is full. Right. Let us have a look. Yes, yes. See, they're bouncing off me a little bit. They're not exactly happy. Now, looking through this box, there might be a show frame this side, but I'm not going to pull one out this side, because if I pull one out this side, it'll probably rub against the next frame and damage it. But if I look this side, they're not capped over on this side. So if I pull this one out, it's not so much of a problem. And this is where we go. Get it. These are gummed down. Oh. I have to say this frame's actually coming apart. This one might not be a good one to do. Yeah. We'll leave that one in. We'll get this one out. Why up there? Right. You're gonna really. I used to have a lot of manly boxes, but I don't like them because you can't basically do what I'm doing now. Oh, these aren't manly boxes anyway. These are ones I've modified, so they'll be no good for a show anyway. So we'll put that back. Sorry, girls, you're not going to get a chance to shine. Ah, there we are. Now this is just normal Hoffman frames. This one. let's see what we can find in here. So obviously that one's no good because it's not fully capped over. So we'll just leave that one out for a minute. Gives a bit of room to work. Yeah, they're not happy. I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear them roaring. I'll just gently lift them out onto the side. See, that would be good, but it's not fully capped. It's not capped all the way down to the bottom. But we should get better as we get over. So that side not so good, that side nearly perfect. I think as we get further into this box we might have a chance. So that side nearly perfect, that side great bit of brace chrome. You've got to be gentle when you're doing this job. So again, that side brace comb, so I knew that one wasn't going to be any good. But this next one, so let's have a look at this one. Again, not fully capped over. And I suspect that will be it for this one. Again, that is a shame, that is, because if you look at that side, that is perfect. Yeah, it needs a bit of titivating on the top, but yeah, I think that's it for this box. That's a shame, that. There were some nearly good frames. So we'll just put the crown board back on. I'm going to knock the bees off. Well, I think I'll just clean off all this brace comb. Oh, sorry girls, just knocking that one over. Yeah, you'll be getting upset with me soon. Yep, they're getting upset. I shouldn't have done that on there. That's another pile of wax though for the wax melter. Let's put it on. This one, it's got all copper wires around the lid here. Put the copper wires, the beauty can get out. We'll just see what condition this port is in, if we can get in. It's actually quite cooked, it's actually all sealed up, so I'll leave it sealed for now. Right, there we go for that one. So tomorrow night we come down, we take all the supers off, we take the clearer board off, strap it up and we're ready to go. So this is the next one I'm going to take up. This one is actually number 6, is absolutely massive. This has got the full 11 frames of brood. It has had all year. It's been my biggest producing colony, so I'm determined to get this one up to the heather, because this one should get me a nice lot of honey in. So what we need to do, it's got 4 supers on. In fact, I might even have 5 on. Let's have a look. No, it's got 4 on each. So we want to get all 4 supers off. Possibly, I'm not sure about that one. That might just be mostly empty. If it is, we'll leave it on. If not, that one needs to come off as well. I've got 2 supers there to go on it. Then we just need to clear it down. So, and we'll have another look through the frame, see if we can find anything useful. So, the eek's going to stay here, but let's go through it. Also, I'll show you this in a moment. Again, the building comb on this quilt. Well, this quilt, it's actually an old WBC quilt I picked up from somewhere, and then just put a couple of sidebars on it, and it's absolutely dumbed down. But it's not got a good thing in for the port of bee escape. It's square, so you can't really seal it, so it's not good for travelling with. So what we'll do, we'll swap that out. I've got another quilt over there. We'll swap it out. It's a very old quilt, that one, but you can see, I mean, it's gummed up to, we've propped this all over. So, first super. Oh, that one's ready to come off. That's full. We've got piles and piles of breast cam in this one. Problem with these poly supers is, supposedly you get 11 frames in, but you can only get 11 frames in just. So you end up putting 10 frames in, and you end up with 10 frames in the gap. Right. That's ready to come off, definitely. Oh. Now, depending on how heavy this one is, yes, there's definitely honey in there. I won't take it up. Just you can feel the weight. So you can see this colony is absolutely busting. So first of all, I want to get the bees down below with the queen exclude as much as I can, so I don't crush any. And then we're going to put clear boards and some supers on. So first of all, let's get a super on. And as you can see, as normally happens, they've decided to come over the shop again. Well, down you go. See, they're getting a bit, if they're flying bees now, they're getting a bit awkward. Now this colony is so big, I'm going to have to put it on a second super to transport it. But I'm not going to use a super, I'm going to have to use a section box. See if I can get some sections off this one. And then we'll put the clear board on. Right. One clear board. I'm going to see how heavy these are. Yeah, I should be able to lift that one in the Landro. When you're moving bees, you've got to make sure you're not going to kill yourself trying to lift the bees, because I've already torn my shoulder out once lifting a beehive. I don't want to do it again. So I'll get this next one on. Now the next thing, I've got to look, I don't think there's any frames here that are suitable for the show. A lot of bees, so there's a lot of bees in this colony, a lot of bees. Now we'll put the next one on. I mean, it doesn't matter if I don't find one tonight. Right, let's see what we can find. I haven't got high hopes for this first one anyway. Yeah, you see that's not got... And I suspect this box isn't going to be any good anyway, because it's all plastic foundation, so we'll forget about this box. If I'm showing, it can't be plastic foundation, can it? So we'll put the next one on. Now I've got to get up here to actually find a frame. Come on, get off. You're getting a bit bouncy. That's not far off perfect, but it's still not perfect. Definitely not perfect. Yeah, you see, the problem here, you haven't put any honey in the actual centre of the frame. That's better. Nearly, so that was not so good that side, nearly perfect that side. But there's a bit of pollen in there as well. So let's have a look at this next frame. I think that is the best one I've seen so far. If we have a look at this, it's not completely capped over, but it's not far off. Now somewhere I had my bee brush. So this one I'm going to gently brush the bees off. I don't want to damage the comb. I've got the bees off. What we'll do is we'll just put this in the show box so it's out the way. And then we'll just keep that in there for now. We'll then have a look at the next one. I've got to let that bee out in a moment, because the next one actually might be better, and it's not. And so it's not fully capped over, so that's useless. So I'll have a look at the next one. Now then, so looking at that, I still think that one's better. And actually, that one's damaged. That's what a shame. If you want for that damage, that one will be even better. That one's got some, that's uncapped, so that's no good. That's where I'm going to swear because I've just been stung out. And again, that one's got a perfect side and that one's got a no good side. That's a shame. So that, I think so far, is my show frame. So we'll leave these alone. We're going to put the new quilt on, as such. This one is so big, I'm definitely going to have to give them a travel frame tomorrow as well. So there we have one travel frame. That just gives them a bit of ventilation while you're moving them. We'll put that on tomorrow when we get them all strapped up. Let's put them back together. So that's the 4 for tomorrow night. We're now going to find another 4. So let's start looking. So this one's the next one that's next up. It's going to go into the up to the heather. It's not as strong as the rest, but they are building up incredibly fast. So I'm expecting good things from this one. As you can see, looking at the lid, there's masses of bees in there, and I think this one will be ready for the heather. So I'm just going to put a queen excluder and a super on this one, ready for travel. This is probably one of the ones that'll go for Sunday morning. Before we've already looked at, there'll be Saturday morning, because they're probably the strongest. Get them up there, get them working. So there's the super on. Put the queen excluder, the quilt back on the right way around. Now you can see I've got a little problem with that bee escape, so why isn't that fitting? Because it's full of wax. So we'll just clean that out a bit. Make sure you get a good seal. And that's better, so that one's now ready. I'm not too worried about ventilation for most of these travelling up. I'll be coming down late Friday night when it's cooled down a bit to pick them up, and we'll be travelling from about 6 in the morning to get up to the heather. I'm not really worried about them overheating. They've got open mesh floors on. The Land Rover will be open overnight, so there'll be plenty of airflow for them. So yes, I'm not worried about them overheating. Especially, I mean, it's only 20 miles we're travelling. If I was travelling 60, 50, 100 miles, I would definitely be putting travel screens on. But for this, we don't need it. So that's number 5. So this, I think, is going to be number 6 for going. Again, it's a nuke we've built up. It's busting full of bees. It's got a feeder on it at the moment, but that can come off because they're not using it anymore. So we don't need to take a feeder up. It's got an eek, so eek won't go with it either. But I think that one is up for it. So we'll just give them a quick smoke. More. Again, just knock them off. I'll have a queen excluder on, a super on, empty super. Give the crown quilt a bit of a clean. I've been whacking it. On the queen, it's on the quilts. Just make sure you clean all the properties off. Because that's it. If you don't clean it off, that's a gap that you can possibly potentially get bees through. So there we are. That's number 6 ready to go. I'm going to leave the Axminster on. If they've got carpet on, I generally leave it because it does help with the insulation on the hives when they're up there. And then back with the roof. The feeder can go away. So this will be number 7 then. This was actually a swarm I caught in Middlesbrough, beginning of the season, and they've gradually built up over the year. And we've got a full hive of bees, so I might as well use them. So let's see where we are. Again, we've got a feeder on this one, which we will remove. And we have a box absolutely busting full of bees. Take the eek off because that's not going up to the horse. And I'll need the eeks down here really because I'll be starting to feed soon for the ones I don't take up. So all I'm going to do is a queen excluder and a super. Oh, and they'll just gum themselves up again. Bees don't take them long to gum stuff up. So I'm knocked off. One queen excluder, one super, and one quilt. So again, these will be up Sunday morning. It'll be the Sunday morning crowd. Just clean off all this properly, some wax, so we can get the bee escaping. Do, and then tomorrow night we'll come down and strap this one up as well. Right, number 7. Got a bit of number 8, right? I've got a bit of a dilemma. I'm not sure which one I'm going to take. It's probably going to be number 1 actually, but I'm not sure if there's a mated queen in there at the minute. But it's a big colony. Let's go and have a look. So this one is potentially number 8. It's got a lot of bees in it. The problem is it swarmed the other week, but hopefully now there should be a laying queen in there. It was a big colony. The queen was actually clipped, so even if they swarmed, the queen would have landed in the grass, and then all the flying bees will come back to the hive. So not actually lost the workforce. I've just got a couple of weeks without a laying queen, but hopefully it should now have a laying queen in it. So we'll have a quick look in this one. If it's up to it, I'll get them to heather. I mean, you might find that they're okay anyway, just taking them up as they are. I can already tell there's a change in temperament. You'll find a colony that's queenless can be a bit nasty. This one, as I'm going through it now, just feels okay. It's something you learn as a beekeeper. You'll feel the temperament of your bees as you're going through them. And it's only something you can only ever get with experience. Go on, get off. It's only ever get with experience. You feel the temperament of the bees, and you know when a colony is queenless. You'll find they'll be in your face, they'll be noisy, and they won't be pleasant to work with. Then you have a colony that's got a queen. A couple of weeks later, same colony, a couple of weeks later, you know it's got a queen because it's calmed down. Let's lift that off. can already tell this is busting with bees. So just give them a calm down, let them get themselves sorted. Try and clear the... Now the problem is I do need a super to go on this one. I haven't brought enough down with me. What I might have to do is just clear them and bring a super down tomorrow night. There's no queen on there. Always check the underside of your queen excluder. You never know when there's going to be a queen on it. Yeah, I didn't get into this one Saturday because I've been leaving them, trying to let them get the queen mated. I can tell looking at it, there's loads of bees in there, so there's probably she probably is mated. Yeah. So sorry there, the battery ran out, so I just come back and plugged ourselves into the Land Rover. So that did turn out into being number 8. She was literally wall-to-wall brood. Well, 9 frames at least a brood, which is good. So I haven't looked at that one for a couple of weeks, mainly because they're swarmed, so I was just trying to leave them alone, let them get on with it, but they've come back. As I say, it pays to clip and mark your queens. So if you do miss a queen cell, they fly off. Queen, obviously, if she clips, she can't fly, so she'll land in the grass. Then all the flying bees, they'll go, I wonder where she is, and you end up actually coming back to the same hive, so you never lose your production force. I mean, it's a shame we've lost that queen, so we've lost a couple of weeks of egg laying. This time of year, that's quite important. Yeah. So yeah, we've lost a couple of weeks of brood, but she's recovered. When I discovered she had swarmed, I just knocked all the queen cells down to just leave one queen cell. So I know that's going to hatch. They're not going to swarm again. So that one's now ready for the heather as well. So they just need a super, or rather, they did need a super. I had a quick look round the other weaker colonies and found there was a super that I could quite easily put onto that hive. So I've done that as well. So tomorrow night it's going to be come back down here, take all the supers off that we've set for clearing, get the hives strapped up. On the 2 biggest colonies, I will put the travel screens on. I have got 2 more travel screens somewhere, but for the life of me, I cannot find them. I don't know where I've put them. If I can find them, I will. Then we can have 4 with travel screens on. Because of the weather we've got in the minute, I know it's nice and warm, but in some ways, it's too warm at the minute. But as I say, we'll be moving them late at night when it's cooled down a bit. And then we'll be moving them first thing in the morning up to this. Because my normal operation when I'm moving bees up to there is I will come down here late on in the evening, close them all up, then I'll take them home and leave them on the drive in the Land Rover. I mean, they're behind a locked gate, so they're no harm to anybody. Land Rover's all locked up apart from the back door being open. If you can start a Land Rover without my keys, well done. Then first thing in the morning, 6 o'clock, I'll be off, driving straight up to the moors to drop them off. So we'll be there for about between 7 and past. Yeah, we'll be there sometime between 7 and past. Offload, we'll get them released, and yeah, with luck, I'll be home for 9. Then we've got more work. So anyway, that's it for the day. Home now, bottling honey. We did try the new gazebo last night. That was good fun. Me and the boy. Nice and easy to put up. And didn't fall apart and these loads of gaffer tape to hold it together. Great. First outing will be the Norton Farmers Market. Second Saturday of the month, so that's the 13th. Which coincidentally is the day of the Sedgefield show. So that's a busy day because I've got to drop some entries off for the Sedgefield show. do the farmers market. That finishes at 4, so straight up to Sedgefield to pick up my entries and any winnings. Next show after that, I think we're doing the Kildale show up on the 3rd of September. And then the following weekend on the 10th, again it's the Norton Farmers Market. And I need to get booked in for a few more farmers markets now that we're getting out of the beekeeping season. It seems strange. July, we're talking about the end of the season. Really, for me, it doesn't finish until the end of September, when all the feeders are off, everything's been treated for varroa, everything's boxed up, everything's put away at home, everything's tidy, and then I can start thinking about other things like Land Rover and DIY and whatever the wife has on the list for me. But that's it for tonight. See you all tomorrow for Hell Week Day 3.